It's a huge disappointment, a really big disappointment. I have been very optimistic about what Shell would find. I've been openly optimistic about it, and I believe Shell was very optimistic about what they were going to find. I think there, it does raise concern as far as if because there's been a lot of hope, even though there really wasn't as much revenue from the oil tied to it. There was really the drilling activity that we were interested. So I think it is a setback as far as the Alaskans are going to be disappointed that that was not successful, and also that we were limited in some way, not being able to drill multiple wells at the same time with the same cost. So I think it definitely impacts consumer confidence. You bet.
Well, I think in the short term, the biggest impact is the loss of jobs and investment. At any given day during the project this summer, they'd have 600 to 800 workers and another 600 to 800 workers waiting to shift in and out, so on a 2 to 3 week rotation. So I think in the short term, it's loss of jobs, it's loss of investment, not only the $7 billion that they've spent to date. I think this summer's program was over $1 billion alone. There are very few companies that have the financial wherewithal to take on this type of endeavor like Shell. There's just a handful. And those others in that handful are in the Arctic, but they're just not in U.S. waters. They have chose to go other places where they have better certainty, better predictability. So for those to say that there won't be any drilling in the Arctic is a flat lie, because drilling is happening today. It will now just not happen in the U.S. waters for some time. I think for those that see this as a victory is short-sighted, because they are focused on stopping all development. They don't care, they just don't want to see any oil and gas development. But the question remains then, where is that energy going to come from?
Sure, it's fantastic news for the Arctic. It removes a major threat to the wildlife in the area, which are already suffering from climate change happening at twice the rate of the rest of the world. Well, I disagree that there's no hope. I think that the hope is for a sustainable future for the Arctic and for a sustainable future for the state, and that's not in offshore oil and gas. And so I think that there's a lot of hope from this announcement today that Shell is departing.